It means the people who accept you no matter who you are, where there's no hatred or judgment. The love for your family should be unconditional, and everyone should try their best to provide all they can for the people in their family, emotionally and financially. So when I came across this quote, I immediately thought of my mom. See, my mom see me at my best times, and she see me at, my darkest times. But during those ups and downs, the love that my mom had for me never changed. She's always had my back from day one, and she's always went above and beyond to make sure I was good. And if I can give her the world, I would do it in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? No questions asked. From where she came from to where she is now is truly inspiring, and she's one of my big inspirations in my life. And I would never want for her to feel unappreciated or ever have her story be unnoticed. So with that being said, Mother, this video is dedicated to you, and I hope you like it.
When Ruth was born, I was living in Tepa. We stayed there for 1 year and we come back to Stockton. It wasn't too easy because I had two kids, Ruth and Edith.
When we were in Mexico, it was me and my sister. We pretty much had a good upbringing. My dad was the only one that was working at the time. He was a pharmacist. My mom was super strict on us. We weren't allowed to get like dirty or anything. We just had to look cute all the time.
We came here and we were so lucky because my husband got a job and I did too. And we used to live in a little apartment, and I didn't like it because I wasn't used to living in an apartment. But we made it.
It was a whole different lifestyle. My mom and dad barely knew any type of English, so we were living in an apartment. And then we moved to the east side of Stockton, lived in a 1-bedroom. And I just remember we had a 1-bedroom, 1 kitchen, super small, a small living room, a little Pinto car. For the most part, both of my parents had to work in order for them to give us a better lifestyle, I guess.
Ruth started going to school, and I remember it was very hard because I used to take her to the daycare, and she was crying. She was a crybaby. She was very, very good kid. A crybaby, but she was good.
She was a teenager, what happened?
She always was a good kid, very smart. All the time she had a straight A's.
In school, it was a little rough because my mom, she wasn't so much into the whole me being so studious, I guess. Studious. Yeah, she wasn't so much into that. She wanted me to cook, clean.
So she didn't really prioritize school?
No. Like if I was doing homework or if I was just, doing something for school and she wanted me to get up and help her cook, then that's what I had to do. Or if I was eating and doing homework at the same time, the books had to be put away.
And she likes the school too much that she got on my nerves sometimes because she was doing too much homework. And sometimes it was 1 o'clock in the morning and she's still doing homework. And I used to say, you just like to play around. And she said, no, Mom, I have a lot of homework. Okay, so I said, okay.
I loved school. That was like, I guess, my thing to do.
Andy! Oh my God.
Now you. No, wait, stop. Yeah, Mom, you doing that?
In high school, were you still maintaining that motherly mentality?
Well, yeah, I had to. I had no choice. I mean, back then it was just pretty much in order for us to make ends meet, both of the parents had to work. And my role as being the oldest, I would have to make it easier for my mom to make the house flow.
She was like a mother to all of us. Was very caring. Just financially kind of took good care of us as well. You know, she started working and stuff. I always made sure that we had food. You know what I mean? My mother didn't like to cook. No, she just always that big sister, always looking out. You know.
High school is kind of a little bit of a peer pressure. You're trying to, and not only that, growing up in your teenage years, you're trying to identify who you are as a person, where you fit in school, group of, like the crowds you're going to be hanging around with. So yeah, I would say that high school, it's a little tough. It's either going to make you or break you.
The day that you found out you were pregnant, do you remember the setting?
Yeah, we were in school. And it just crossed my mind. Mm-hmm. And I think we went to like Planned Parenthood or something like that and went to go find out. I wasn't shocked. I didn't expect that to happen because, you know, it was just one of those things that you have in your mind that it can't happen to you, and when they tell you, you're like not even believing it. I was more concerned about what was my mom and dad going to say to me. Mm-hmm. I wasn't planning on telling them. I was just I was hoping it would just go away.
When I found out, you know, I never was thinking that she was going to have a baby. She was crying and she said, "Mom, I got to tell you something." And so I didn't think that was the last thing that I was, you know, that I was thinking, oh my gosh, you're not going to tell me this. And she said, "Mom, I'm going to have a baby." And then, I started crying and crying because I just had a baby. And you know, I didn't want my daughter to go through the things that I went through. And I said, oh no, oh my God. I felt like sad, very, very sad, because she was so young. And I didn't want her to suffer or anything. And she told me, she said, "Mama, I'm so sorry that I did this, and I don't want you and my dad get upset about it because it's my fault." She said, and I feel bad because I did this to my parents, you know. And so she said, if you want, I can go out, you know, I'll leave out of the house. I don't have to live here because I did wrong. But I say, then my husband said, no. She said, you know, we're a family, we will not help you, but you have to be good, and hopefully this is gonna be the last time, and we will not help you and protect you, and we want you to continue going to school. And it was very hard and sad because he was so young and I didn't know what to do either.
My mom, it took her like about a month to come to terms with it. My mom was really quiet. She didn't talk to me. My dad, no. For the most part, he was really supportive. It took a while for my mom to come to terms with it because, you know, like I said, those were just things that we didn't discuss, and I wasn't a trouble kid or anything like that where I would just do bad things where I would get in trouble.
When she was going to school, by that time I was going to college too. So she used to go in the morning and I used to go nighttime. So she can take care of the kids in the morning and I was taking care of the kids, you know, later.
Yeah, just to clarify, so you had a kid too when
Yes.
I was born. So
yeah. We had twins.
That was Alex.
Alex, they're only 10 months apart.
Alex, which is my younger brother, so he was still a tiny baby. So it was hard at home because, you know, he was at the house, and my mom kind of figured, okay, well, you're gonna have a baby, and So Alex was going to be a responsibility because she decided to go to school. While I was in school, I was in high school. So he was kind of like my baby in the training. So it was my responsibility to take care of him while she went to school. So I pretty much took care of him after I got home from high school, and then she would go to school. So it was kind of hard because not only did I have to finish high school, take care of Alex, I still had to go to doctor's appointments, things that were needing me. And for the most part, because I was so young, I had nutrition classes. There was a bunch of things that I had to go to, so it was different. It was different. You ended up growing up real quick. Yeah, pretty much I had you induced. I think you were due on the 19th and it was already the 27th, so I had to have you induced. That was like the worst labor ever. I was 13 hours in labor with you. The umbilical cord was wrapped around your neck. And the next thing I knew that when I was in the delivery room, my dad was there. That was embarrassing. He was on the side of me, not in front of me, but he was on the side of me. And then your dad was in there, so it just made it even harder because I was trying to be strong for my dad. But at the same time, it was just pretty intense with the whole labor and delivery.
What about the whole part of me being sick in the hospital? Did that affect you too?
Yes, because every time you're getting sick, it hurts me because you're like my baby. And you're a crybaby, and you're always sick, so it wasn't easy. But we used to, help her or any little thing that she needed, and you too.
Well, you first started having seizures when you were 5 months old. So by that time, I had just finished high school. So I was just about to enroll in college. And you being sickly all the time, it prevented me from finishing school. I had to take a semester off because you would frequently get sick, and when you got sick, you would have to be admitted to the hospital for sometimes 3 to 5 days because of your severe fevers. So sometimes it would prevent me from going to school. I missed so many classes that I wasn't able to catch up. And I ended up enrolling in night school so I can finish college. So my mom would go to school in the morning. I would take care of Alex, which is my brother, and you in the morning. And then I would go to school. And while you slept, I did my homework at night. So I had to juggle. I had to juggle everything. I couldn't go to school when you were sick because I just felt the responsibility of me being at home, because I felt like if you had a seizure, nobody would be able to take care of you the way I did. I had to take classes to understand how to take care of you, what to do when you were seizing. So it was hard. So it took a little longer for me to finish school. I graduated in 93 from high school and I finished in 99. So that took me a long time to finish.
You know, she had a baby. I was sad, but at the same time, I was happy because she was going to, finish school too. It wasn't easy, but she made it. Then after that, she started going to college and she, she continued all her school and she did it really, really good. And I was very proud of her. She's very smart.
What do you think?
She can be stubborn, but she's very smart.
So I enrolled in college and I ended up becoming an accountant. And the funny thing is, I worked in a bank for a couple of years. They closed it and they got relocated to Texas. So I am now doing social services, which is nothing that has to do with my major. Because I wanted to work in a bank. That was like my ultimate goal. And I loved it when I was working. But then we got laid off. It was closed. They closed the bank and it was relocated in Texas and LA. And they offered me to transfer with the bank, but since I had you and you were sick, I just felt it wasn't right. So I ended up not doing that, and now I'm doing social services. Well, I decided to move out when you were 6 years old. I had just turned 21. I just figured it was time for you and I to have our own place. And it was just too chaotic at home at that time. And I felt at that point you and I needed our space to grow as a little family. And I was super independent anyways. So I just felt at that time it was just time to go, do our own thing. It was hard. It was super hard. Sometimes not having money for food. We struggled for a bit. And we made it. I mean, at that time, I made everything look so nonchalant, like we were doing okay. I don't think you ever knew we weren't doing okay.
How was your first place that you moved into?
The little duplex. It was super small, but quaint. It was super exciting in the hood. Sometimes we would hear people jumping over the fence. They were running away from the cops. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Because we would have sliders in your bedroom and my bedroom. But it was normal. That's crazy, huh? It would be so normal. We've come a long way.
And she always tried to help us and help all the kids in the family. And sometimes I feel bad because it's not her responsibility. You know, everyone has their own responsibility, their own life. But she always tried to take care of everybody in the family. And sometimes I don't feel that is right, because that's too much stress for her. And I'm proud of her, you know. I don't know what I'd do without her.
What would be like the number one thing that comes to mind that you admire about her the most?
The strong will. Very positive. For having a kid at a young age, I'm proud of her. I mean, she pushed forward. I mean, no matter what. And you know, I mean, she struggled with your health. You know, obviously, you know, she mentioned that before in the other video. I was going to school, working, and taking care of my bratty ass. So, I mean, that was a lot. So, yeah, I don't know how sometimes she just hasn't lost her mind. I mean, everybody kind of goes through it. I mean, she's the counselor of the familia. Forget about it, huh?
Forget about it.
No. If there's anybody out there who is currently going through that same experience that you went through, what would your advice be to them?
It's going to be a journey and it's going to be a wild ride, but for the most part, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be trying. You're going to feel like you're going to give up, especially for single parents out there, don't lose hope. You just have to understand that this is something that was put in your way. God's not going to give you on your plate more than what you can handle. But overall, just don't give up. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And for those people who have already reached out to me, I think it's very important that you strive to better yourself, educate yourself. Don't lose focus. Stay in school. Be an example for your children. And that's what I'm trying to do, is be a better role model for you guys.